we're saying goodbye to our Overlander Series 1.
Yes, unfortunately so. Some lucky person's taking delivery of it tomorrow.
Yes, but it's going to a good home. I know you guys were both involved in finding that home.
Yes.
And the whole Ural of New England team was part of the Overlander series. It was put together by our technicians, but as far as design of accessories, it all came from all of us because we communicate with all the Ural community and what people like to see on their Urals. We fit on Overland series, and we'll just, as a part of our quality control, because before it goes to its home, we're going to go through all the accessories.
Make sure that everything works.
Yes. So Fernando, our sales manager
Yes.
for the automotive aspects, but you know Ural's just as good as everybody else. And Daryl, our Ural specialist, and we have Overland Series number 1. We're actually doing number 2 now as we speak. It's a secret. We're not going to disclose anything.
Save it for the secret.
Yes. So we'll start from the front. What are your favorite accessories? What do you find exciting?
What I really like about these bikes are 2 things that you'd find. One is the Brembo brakes. I am a brake person. I think that you should be able to stop under any condition. And the Brembos are high-end vehicles and sports cars do come standard with them. They are known in the industry. And these are perforated brakes, so it dissipates the heat. And the second thing that I like about this bike on the front that is very much is the number of lights. There are more lights here, 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 and here, and then the spotlight, and then there's another one there. You can see further, and you can also be seen, so it makes it quite safe.
Yeah, that's so on this bike we have pretty much, I believe we have every possible light that can be fit on a Ural that is available on our e-store on uralne.com. Every single light. We have an H4 upgrade in the Hella lens, and there's an LED light there. There are small lights, side lights.
Side lights.
There are fork mounted, this bike doesn't have a fork, but we have a name for it, fork mounted lights. There are front bumper driving lamps. And then there is an upgrade, which is also using Hella H4 for the spotlight. And then there is a driving lamp for the fender light. What is interesting, that one is always on, right, with the running lights. And then these lights are all controlled through the switches. I also, did we do an upgrade on this one for the LED turn signal light?
This one doesn't have the LED turn signals. We did the last one with the LEDs, the gray. The last custom we built with the gray one.
Okay.
That one's got all the LED turn signal kit on it.
That is something new we didn't have.
Yeah, we started putting that together after we put this bike together, so.
Absolutely. Well, so who's going to go on the sidecar?
Daryl is a very good candidate.
Okay. No, let me get in.
Volunteer Daryl.
Let me get in.
Yes.
So we will show, since we're doing the video, we're just going to show a few things. Over here, we have armrests. We have, I know that the customer, you work with the customer, he didn't feel like this has enough accessories.
Yeah, so we had to add a couple more things on. Very customer specific accessories, very necessary accessories, and for the rider and the passenger. And first one's a cup holder for the passenger.
Wow, that's a folding cup holder.
Folding cup holder,
Right
folds
there.
right up out of the way. Now,
Is there another one?
so the rider can enjoy his coffee on the way. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
So the rider can enjoy his coffee. We have a folding one here as well.
for the driver.
And it's placed strategically as such, so there's minimum travel between the throttle and the coffee cup.
But just for additional information, we do not advise to operate a cup holder while you operate a motorcycle.
Motorcycle,
Well, that's common sense. We
It's
all
totally
know
up to
that.
the, up to the rider.
And then we added, we didn't have those, right?
Right, we have the passenger armrest.
Yeah. So getting in is easy for those that haven't seen. You just step into the sidecar. It's very, very comfortable. You can extend your feet. It's just awesome.
Yeah, notice
Armrests are awesome.
how his legs are straight. There's so much leg room in there.
Yeah. Also, yeah, I cannot reach. There are probably like 10 inches before I can touch the nose of the sidecar. This one also has our handmade. They're made here in the United States. In fact, they're made here in the hometown in Boxborough. These are handmade dashboards, and they are precision made to fit the Ural. They installed with rubber spacers.
Hand polished,
That's correct.
and you have the controls for the switch for the light, and you also have 12 volt for charging the phone or the heated blanket or the nav system.
Well, since we're over here on this side with Daniel operating the camera, let's talk about the hand shifter with this
Right,
bike.
This one has the two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, and reverse style hand shifter. So you have the easy access for the two-wheel drive and four-wheel drive.
So
you don't
this
have to
is-
reach down and back.
Yep, to lift it up, we turn it on. To bring it down, we turn it off, and we do it ideally when the bike is rolling a little bit, so that the gears can be mashed up in the final drive. And then the reverse gear,
It's
right,
mounted up there as well,
Yep.
so
Right.
it's easy access.
Press it
Reverse.
forward.
and back. Yep. And then, as far as, I just want to point something out, the installation of accessories, it's all done obviously here at Ural of New England. I'm very proud of our technicians. We have 2 technicians that assemble, they each assemble over 50 motorcycles, Ural motorcycles, each year. Look at how they do the installation of the cup holder. Obviously, they have to put they put the hardware through, and you can see it's a very neat installation with aluminum rivets, and everything is nicely touched up. I saw him do the installation. He actually, when he drilled, he touched up the interior exposed perimeter of the hole that was drilled.
Which is very important,
Yes.
because otherwise it causes
And then
rust.
he installed the rivets, and then after the rivets installation, he then touched up the rivets. Very, very nice installation.
Well done.
Yeah, and the same thing over on this side for this customer. I like how this customer did the final touches on this bike.
Yeah, it's kind of a nice little
Right.
This one also has the low rise.
Yeah, short windshield just
Short.
came out last year.
Yes. Looks awesome.
Very nice.
And then it looks like we have aggressive knobby tires.
Yep,
These are
got-
K37s by, I will let you pronounce this one.
Had now K37s.
Yes, yep, that's
The
right
German
there.
tires.
Yeah. I know, Fernando, you will appreciate that. This will go great with your jacket.
Yes.
Check this out.
Yeah, we even have an updated shovel.
Yeah,
So this has the normal
That's
gear
a
up
perfect
shovel.
match. This is an extension shovel, and also one of the sides is serrated. So if you're out on the woods and you need to cut something up, this side is very sharp. So if you're out in the woods, you can bury something. It's very heavy,
Let me see something.
very heavy duty.
So, I believe with this one, the company that we get it from, they get, you have different
That's a
extensions.
fire stick.
That's a fire stick,
Yeah,
so
you can use that, yeah.
And then, we
You
can
can also
get,
put stuff in there, like,
so then, there are a couple other goodies here.
You know, you can also turn that shovel into a pick too.
Oh,
Just loosen this up.
yeah,
You flip this down, and you turn it into a pick that fits in.
so then you got a pickaxe.
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
There you go. like a Viking instrument.
Yeah, and it also comes with a nice shoulder bag, looks like.
And look at that, perfect match.
Yes.
Nice
So-
little bag for you.
Yeah, those are available on our
Pull that back up
e-store, I
again.
believe,
Yeah.
those shovels.
That is a very nice feature.
Yeah.
I like that.
Then as we go around the bike, look at this new installation. I think, we haven't done many bikes for the first 8 box, for the medical box.
check
They
that out.
usually go in the back. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, there's another knife, and I knew there was another component to this shovel.
A razor,
That's a fish scaler.
A razor, be careful, it's sharp.
A knife, a serrated blade, and a bottle opener.
gotta have the bottle opener right there.
Yep.
Yep.
See, I'm an Eagle Scout. I know all this,
That
all this
is
little
awesome.
terminology for all
That
this
is
stuff.
awesome. I need one of those shovels.
We all need them.
Can I get one of those?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you
need
can
to
buy them
carry
at any
around.
store.
All we need to
You gotta
do.
have that on the winter, because you don't know where you're gonna get stuck.
And the extra cord's there for a reason too. If you need to tie off something, if you need to put up a tarp or something like that.
You've got the
that's
cords
extra
already built
cords
in
there
on the
for a
handle.
reason.
Yep.
That is awesome.
So the medical box, we usually mount to these mounting bolts on the bikes that have this new style rear bumper. We mount it over here, which is a great place, right in front of the fuel canister. And this one is fitted with this first aid kit, which was the addition for the Overlander series. This is something that you can also get through our e-store. This has all your necessary stuff. And it fits perfect into the medical box. The medical box has a rubber seal right there.
Did you mention the 2-in-1 exhaust system?
Well, let's go over that one.
Yeah. So you have the 2-in-1 exhaust system, which is normally they would come underneath. So you raise and both exhausts will go into a single exhaust. It has a more of a pronounced note when it's running. It increases the power slightly, but what it really makes it very good is to cross streams or water, because now the exhaust is not going to be on the water, it's going to be raised up. And once we do that, we also treat this part here with a special insulation, so if you have a rear passenger here, you won't burn his leg by touching the hot exhaust that comes right from here.
It's actually very I'm glad you brought that up. It's a common question when we have inquiries on the exhaust and people ask, well, how is it for the rear passenger? That would be a good video to demonstrate, even though it looks pretty tight, but as you can see, when you, there's plenty of room for your right foot.
Right.
There's actually right on the foot peg, not to mention you can change the position and do it this way. And towards the back, the muffler, even after hours of running the engine, the muffler itself
Cool.
is pretty...
This is the part that gets hot, and this is where it's insulated.
Yes, and so we do have a heat tape over there, so if you by accident touch that, it's just not a big deal.
You should always ride it with pants on them.
Well, not so much pants, but boots.
Yeah,
Yes.
boots.
And if you got boots on with the heat tape,
Yeah,
you're not
then you're
gonna,
fine.
you're not gonna notice it.
So I just sat on this. This is the tractor style seat with a nice padded cover.
And the handle, I like this handle because it always works when you're on the front. You can, that
Oh,
goes
resting.
right in
Yep.
a rest back support.
On this bike, we tested, and this was one of the first real retail installations. We had it on other bikes where we were testing it internally. But this was the first bike that we installed oil cooler system. And it's not your typical oil cooler, which we've seen plenty where the small little radiator cooler gets installed over here. They don't really do much. This particular one, we've done
And
some
they're very
tests.
fragile too.
They're very fragile, that's right, especially on that side, and that's the only side. So this type of cooler, it increases by as much as 0.7 of a liter capacity of the oil, so you have more oil going through the system. And of course it works great as a cooler because all these fins, those are the additional surfaces.
Yeah, it's sunburst style, so you've got fins around the whole perimeter of the oil coming in and out, and that helps displace the heat from the oil.
And I know how we tried different locations, and this turned out to be by far the best and most efficient location.
It's protected also because it gets the air that's going outside the shin guard.
Yes.
And plus it's protected by the sidecar and the motorcycle itself. So
exactly.
it's out of harm's way.
Yeah, and it's got this airflow that is funneled in there, fresh air, and it just pulls it right down. And we can show the kit consists of the oil filter base, which actually also has a valve that when the engine is cold and the oil is cold and there could be excessive pressure, it actually does not send it into that oil cooler. It keeps it within the engine.
Yeah, it allows the engine to warm up faster.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So that is really a nice feature, and the hoses they may seem like they're regular rubber hoses, but they're actually metal braided high pressure hoses. There's not it's not high pressure system, but we selected to use that hose for additional protection so that it doesn't get punctured easily. And well, there's a lot of stuff on this bike. I don't know if we'll have time to cover it all, and I'm using our build sheet for this bike. Covered the lights, windshield. This one actually has air horn.
Yeah, this has got air horn.
And
don't forget about the heated grips too.
And the heated grips.
And the little grip puppies that you have on there now.
It has your cell phone or nav system holder. You have a plug here.
Yeah, this is 12
in addition
volt
to the one in there for 12 volts.
Yeah.
So you can just plug in. Your parking brakes is here. This is a standard on these new model bikes.
Yes.
It has the heated grips. He's the control.
Yeah.
For the heated grips, you have 1, 2, 3, 4 positions, bake to broil, and that is installed using a technique to go through the handlebars so there's nothing sticking out. So when you turn that on, the handle grips actually warm up. It makes a big difference on a very cold days. Another good thing that I like about this bike is the powder-coated engine that is done at the factory, which is especially for New England and oxidation and rust and wear and tear and resistance, because all the components are powder-coated beforehand and baked. And this one also has this step, and I think that this one has a single step over here.
Yep.
So if you get in trouble, you can actually rock the bike by standing on the step, being right here.
They are very, very durable.
And very, very sturdy.
Yep.
You can see the thickness of the connection, the thickness of the metal, and the thickness of this connection here, which is holding a lot of the weight. And it does not affect the gear. It actually makes it much easier for your toe or heel shifting.
Yep, I'm glad you pointed that out. That's another question we often ask for people that already have Urals or consider getting one with this accessory, because as you can see here, 1 down, 3 up. Depending on what boot you have, you can get your foot under and shift up this way, which makes it very, very easy. Also, which is my favorite way to shift up, is simply stepping down. If you bring your toe out just a little bit, it makes it very easy upshift and downshift. And then, of course, for those riders that like to do it this way, it is still possible.
Yep.
It is a very common question. I'm glad you asked that. You pointed out. So, and it is a very sturdy system. We had one bike that had a small collision, and this one was installed, and there was absolutely no damage to the engine. This bar pretty much sustained and prevented any damage to the engine.
It also works as an engine bumper and guard.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very, very sturdy.
Yeah, the standard one is just comes up like this and down.
Correct.
So it will provide some protection, but it doesn't have much resistance when it's pushed this way. So with this setup, if you...
This here works to hold it more so that doesn't come forward
Absolutely.
on this
And-
small engine.
And it's not only protection for the cylinder, it's most importantly protection for the rider. For the, from the bottom and from the side.
Beautiful, right?
So, the powder coating is a must these days.
Correct.
And,
Also, this, in addition to the powder coated engine, it also has the sidecar and under the bike.
oh,
It's
yes.
rust protected, so you can see the thickness and how it comes out. It is a very substance that is actually reactive to the tub itself underneath the bike. You can see here on the difference. And what it feels like on my hand,
Yeah.
it feels like those sprayed on bed liners
Yeah, it's
that
like
you
brown
find on
liner.
cars. And that's where most abrasion would happen, because that's where sand and salt and road debris would hit the underneath. And we've seen bikes that is unprotected, and because you can't see, a rock will remove the paint and it can cause rust. So that would avoid that.
Absolutely. We're going to get back to some of the accessories. There's still some very good, exciting accessories, but I do want to mention that our Overland series was designed here at Ural of New England, and the logo and the decals, they were designed by our marketing specialist who's doing the video. His name is Dan. They were also printed by the printing shop in Long Island, and the owner of the shop, he also owns a Ural, what's the name of the shop?
Clip signs.
Eclipse, yes, Eclipse Signs. So we certainly owe them a great deal of effort here. And these coordinates, they relate to us here in Boxborough.
That's our
Yes.
coordinates for this location.
For this
If you ever
location.
get lost,
Yeah.
I like the fact that it says number 1.
Yeah, this is we're going to be doing more Overland Series bike. This was very, very successful. We've taken this bike to a variety of show events, and it was just an amazing crowd pleaser all around. I do want to hear that horn. It's been a while.
You know what I want to hear more than the horns?
Yes.
I want to hear that exhaust.
Absolutely. Let's start with
So we
that.
turn the key
Yes.
in this position.
Yeah.
The driving light goes on. The sidecar light goes on. We'll make sure it's a neutral. There's
Yeah.
a green here for neutral. Very easy. Then is the kill switch that I flip. I can be very fancy, and I can start it
Well, let's not be
from
fancy.
the side kick, or
Yeah.
I can just press.
Oh, I like that
And
one.
you can see that it has a deeper sound than you get on a normal Ural. Hold on.
It's got a great loud.
It's a very nice loud sound. The thing about a louder exhaust, like I mentioned earlier, you have more power, but you also can be heard much more throat. It sounds awesome.
Since we are in the showroom and the offices are close by, we're gonna turn it off. And obviously, it's a cold
Oh, the
engine.
horn, you wanna hear their horn?
Yes.
Oh, one more thing about the exhaust.
Yeah, let's close the
Keep
door
in
here.
mind, since we're not in the grand state of California, this exhaust doesn't have the catalytic converter built into it. So it allows the bike to run better, it allows the bike engine to run cooler, and the whole exhaust system's cooler.
And strictly speaking, just again, for the purpose of full disclosure, it's for off-road use.
That's right, off-road use only.
Yes. But I do want to comment on the performance. The engine's cold, we would normally give it at least maybe like 45 seconds, a minute, minute and a half of a little bit of warm-up time.
For the oil to circulate before we
Yes,
drive.
and for the fuel injection to catch up to the engine temperature to react.
Yeah.
So the small little stall out, it was to do with that. Also, I do want to point out, this bike and all other bikes, when we install this exhaust system, we have a custom mapping for the fuel injection that works very, very well. It changes the torque curve to begin with. Ural's standard mapping and the fuel-injected bike, the maximum torque is what, at 1,800 RPM?
You get 80% of your torque available below 2,000 RPM.
Which is amazing. It's
amazing.
Yeah, you could be taking off, not to mention in first gear, without doing any throttle. I know you can do it in second
Right,
gear.
you can do it in second, I've done it in second.
Yes.
Are we ready for the horn? I want to hear that horn.
Yes, let's do the horn.
Okay, I'll watch you.
Well, that's the air horn. Definitely check out reviews for the air horn. There are some really fun comments.
That is
on
pretty
this.
loud.
Yeah.
Even after I warned, just
You know it's coming.
it's coming.
And it's a very compact and it's a sophisticated installation. There's not much room, and there's an air compressor. It's a true air horn with direct drive, so there's no holes between the compressor and the actual horn, so there's no pressure to build up. It's instant. As soon as you touch the switch, you have the sound. We covered that. Food box, we covered the food box. Undercoating, Fernando covered that. The undercoating is also present on all three fenders. It's a factory option. We do recommend getting that.
Yeah, we can see it inside the fenders themselves,
When you
which
order
is
the
another area that you get a lot of abrasions.
dual tractor seats. I didn't even get to this one, but we didn't talk about the winch.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you gotta talk about the winch to be true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, I know Dan was just traveling with his Ural. How far did you go?
South Carolina.
And I asked you, how was it? Was there any accessories that you were missing, and what did you say?
The winch and knobby tires.
Knobby tires. So this bike has it all. Yes, there will be instances when you may be going a little bit too far, a little bit too quick, and then if you're by yourself, you will need the winch. And the winch has a remote control.
Which is
So
right.
Daryl can tell us about the winch.
Do we need to have ignition on for the winch? No.
No,
You arm it by holding the button down.
Okay.
Then the winch is armed when the
Yeah.
blue light comes on.
Yeah.
Now it'll operate. Now to extend it, you've got a knob here that you pull out.
Yeah.
And then you can roll, then you
just
can pull it out the way you need it.
Yeah. Or you can pull on that and
Or you can,
yeah.
and just pull it right out. And then when you pull out the way you want,
Perfect.
2,500 pounds, Daryl?
Yes, I
Yes.
believe it's
Yes,
that.
It's
Rated
rated for
2,500.
2,500, yes.
So you can actually suspend the Ural. You can lift the Ural.
that's right.
If you
can.
feel
can
like
lift the
changing
Ural.
your oil on a tree,
Yeah,
if you
can.
find a branch strong enough,
Yep, you can.
well,
But then,
then
if
once
you
you're
did it that
done-
way, the oil would have no way of running out.
but-
I think.
right, then
light
you would
goes
have
out.
to drain it first
Yeah.
before you lift it up on the tree. So if you want to surprise your friends, you can have the Ural.
Okay, so the license, the vintage style front license plate.
Yeah, it's fairly new for us.
This is something that we used to buy them. There was a company that was bringing them in. They were average, slightly below average quality. We made some improvements to those. And then we decided to do our own. This is all designed here at Ural of New England and built here in the United States. In fact, by our local machine shop that we use for a lot of different things, for Ural accessories. So it is a precision installation. All the clearances, all the cutouts, they were precision designed and made to accommodate the thickness of the powder coating. There is stainless steel hardware. When you put it in and tighten it up, it all flush mount on this side. It's very neat. We're going to show you in a moment.
A lot of times when you get these, depending on the diameter of the wheel, the diameter of the fender, the way the arch is, you won't get as precise gap here.
Absolutely. That's
So-
what we had with the earlier version.
Right.
Yep.
So because these are made by us, if you'll notice that gap is the same from one end to the other. Look at it from the side, the spacing is the same.
And check out, again, we're going to zoom in. It's all stainless steel hardware. And you can see that it's precise fit. Nothing is sticking out. And all we're doing, we're just retaining and carrying through the same level of quality that Ural offers nowadays. All the late model Urals for the last close to 10 years, especially the last few years, if you look at all the hardware on the Ural motorcycle and the way it is assembled and put together, it is an amazing level of quality. It just thought out very, very well to retain the original nice look. And it's everything from the rim, from the spokes, and as you just go through, all the mounting is amazing. So anytime we design something, whether it's a mechanical installation, fitment, we do it exactly the same way. Sometimes we try to do even better if we can. The electrical system the same way. When you look at the winch installation, all the harness, we use factory level waterproof,
quick connector.
yes, sealed from the back, sealed from the front electrical connector. So if you go in the water, which some of our riders do, we know
Yes.
that, the whole installation that's done by us on the electrical, it's going to be the same, watertight. Let's see what else we have. We have the nose rack.
Yeah, we got all the basic stuff like that. We have a nose rack, we have a fender rack, sidecar rear view mirror.
Sidecar with the mirror.
We've got our light guards and tail light guard.
I also noticed a rear bumper.
The rear bumper's ours.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to see myself, how is this mirror gonna, how does it work? What do we actually?
You mean
Yeah,
fusion
so
system?
we're able, yeah, I can see that edge of the fender.
Yeah.
So again, when you ride Ural for a while, you have a good feel for where your fender is. But sometimes you're coming through really too close, and that mirror is very handy for that reason, just for that reason. Not to mention if you have a passenger and they want to see themselves, how
Correct.
it's looking.
Right.
All
Yes, that's a good reason.
individual series.
That's usually what
Individual
I do.
series.
Exactly, individual
Series
series.
comes with a mirror.
That's right.
Okay, so we have nose rack, fender rack, and then the bumper we covered. Survival shovel, that was...
We did,
Yeah,
yes,
we
it's got all
did.
kinds of things.
Yeah, these things are really nice. They're very inexpensive. I know they're very popular on our e-store.
Yeah.
And they're very easy
They
slip
slip
ons.
on, they'll fit on
And they're
any
so,
kind of
so
grip.
comfortable.
Yeah, feels nice in the hand.
Yep, absolutely.
And they don't have any effect on the heated grips either. They allow you to feel the heat through them too.
So according to this, we have LED running lights, which I think we do. Look at that.
They look very
Yeah,
bright.
that looks like an LED.
They
that
look
is
very
a-
bright.
Light grills, fuel tank logos, and the graphics by Eclipse signs. So I think we covered all
Yes.
the accessories.
Yeah.
I know we enjoyed this bike. It's been here for a few months.
Now we
And-
say goodbye and come and get number 2.
Yes, absolutely. So thank you for taking, spending your time and spending it with us, with our team from Ural of England. We have Daryl, Fernando, and Dimitri. Thank you again very much.
Bye-bye now.